Good morning, my friends. How the heck are you? So today I want to talk about that working on my business versus working in my business. And what I can say about 2020 is it was a big year for us to be working in our business, which means that there was a lot of activity, there was a lot of different kinds of ways of doing things. And so we had to figure it out on the road. And so we really did not have, least in my experience, and from what I've observed and from what I anecdotally went through myself, was I did not have a lot of time to really sit and intentionally determine what my day was going to be like. It was a lot of putting out fires, whacking a mole. I think I talked about it yesterday. So one of the things that I am doing and did in preparation for 2021 is I am redoing my Agent Rising website to include a lot more programs for all realtors. So it's been a place for the school primarily for a very long time. So people would come to it to take licensing for either salesperson or broker. And that was kind of like the main deal on it. However, the business has expanded and the offers and opportunities to serve all realtors has really expanded. So I am working on that. Now, here comes the drum roll. Oh my God, I have to get my picture taken. Okay, so my pictures that I had were not current. And for me, it's pretty obvious because my hair changes a lot. So I had bangs or I had short hair or whatever, plus the fact that, I've aged a lot. So I called on my niece, who's a photographer, and her name is Kayla Lanigan. And those of you who know her uh, know what an amazing human being she is. Right. She just exudes love and calm. I call her Jesus because she's just so cool and she's always been. So she has this business called Babel Photos and she's had it for several years. And her talents along the way, oh my gosh, they blow me away. So anyways, she has been doing this business for a while and she's actually done my last, I don't know, 3 or 4 actual photo shoots that I've had. So I just really love her and I love what she does and how she does it because she does it with heart and she does it like she's there. Like I was just telling Heather yesterday, is that when you're doing the photo shoot, ooh, beautiful, oh, look. And she just makes you feel so good. And she just gives you great cues and she kind of guides you to find some photos, some candid, some natural looking things that you can live with. And so I thought I would give you tips. And I just want to say something first is sometimes I feel like Kate Lanigan McGregor, do not give tips on how to look good on either a picture or a camera, because I feel like I look very much like average, right? I look like I think I'm okay, but I don't feel like I should be that person who's giving out tips, right? Most of the time when you get tips about things like this, it's from somebody who just knocks it out of the park. So I'm not that person. However, because I'm not that person, I think I can feel with some of you that awkwardness of having to get your picture taken or actually having to do video, right? Because we've talked about that a lot on video, that, ugh, it's so frustrating. It's so hard. I can't be natural. And I keep on saying to you, it's practice, consistency, practice, consistency, practice, consistency. Because if you are critical about it, and it's funny, when I took Lee Brown's instructor bootcamp course, she talked about looking at yourself and watching what you do. And I'm like, I don't want to. I don't want to because you know what? When I look at myself, I don't look to see, well, how many filler words I use or something like that. I look at all of my flaws. First time through, I look at my flaws and then I say, get over your bad self already. So here are my tips, and I'm going to put on my glasses because I want to make sure that I remember what I wanted to say. And by the way, all right, so the first is look at the camera, not the person. So the same thing. So as I'm looking at you on this video, I'm looking at the light, that's the camera. I'm not looking at myself. Okay, so same thing with the camera. So the camera is where you're going to be looking. Unless, of course, you're doing one of those far away shots. I'm looking over there. Or what she had me do? She had me do play with your hair and look out, play with my hair and look out right. So in those pictures, of course, I'm not going to be looking at the camera. All right. So that's the first. The second is make fun of yourself, right? Have fun with it. Have the relationship with the photographer that you are like, listen, I feel really silly. This feels really goofy, or I am goofy. This is me. I'm like, I'm goofy. A lot of my pictures, and you'll see them out there. I think I put most of them on Agent Rising. because I wanted to use them so that I didn't have to find them. And it came out as a post, which was not my intention. But anyway, is I wrapped myself in ropes and all of the cords and stuff and like holding the selfie and like make fun of yourself, because when you're talking with people and when you're connecting with people, that might be the thing that they relate to. Okay. So have some of those photos in there also. The third is let them take lots and lots and lots of photos. For example, I think the picture I put on Agent Rising, my profile pic, has me like with my jacket over my shoulder walking in the building. Well, you'll notice if you go looking that there's no pictures of me with that jacket on. So obviously that jacket was a bomb for the photos. So, but let the photographer find the ones that they give you that are that they like and that are good of you, right? So be aware of that. So, but let them take tons of pictures, right? Find them like, Kayla, like you had to have gotten the picture because we were waiting for someone to come because we're doing some joint photos also. And so she's like, no, let me just take a couple more on this way. You know what? I love how you just did this, like in the back. We did some fun things with all of the back, my backdrop for this. So we had some fun with that. Okay, the next is make peace with the parts of you that you hate. Okay, so the first time I looked at the photos that she took, I was looking at my face and I was doing a couple of like throwing my, like I was doing one of these and one of them, like, right? And the first time I looked, I'm like, oh, that looks fun. And then the second time I looked at it, I went to all of my flaws and I'm like, oh, I will never use that. Look at my double chin in that picture, right? Or whatever it is on you, right? Mine happens to be this area I hate. Okay, so just make peace with it because you're not going to change. And you know what? That person who's looking at those photos is going to see you someday. So you want to make sure that they kind of reflect it. Like sometimes I laugh when someone has a beauty photo done of what they have out there. And then you meet them and you're kind of going like, is this the same person? You know, so you want it to reflect you. And by the way, we are who we are. We are created to be who we are. And so we are this way because this is the way we're supposed to be. Okay. So I'm short. I'm supposed to be that way. And I can go through and I can tell you all the things that I don't love about myself. However, I am, as they say back there, I am perfectly imperfect, flawsomely awesome me. And you are perfectly imperfect, flawsomely awesome you. And so let's just work with what we got. And so that comfort that you get from accepting that. And I'm not saying about like losing 10 pounds, gaining 10 pounds, whatever. Like I'm not talking about things like that. I'm talking about making peace with when you're like, yeah, that's me and I can take it. You know, and this, again, I can go and name you all the things, but then you're going to be staring at them. And then the last is remember, what does it say? Okay, remember the idea is to be a representation of you, not a beauty pageant. Okay, so back to that same thing. You know, a lot of times I will use photos that are sillier of me because when I am on stage, it's because I want to be relatable. I am relatable, I think, right? So I want to make it so that it's fun and feisty. You know, yesterday my daughter was working on her LinkedIn profile and she's like, what would you say about me? I'm like, smart and sassy. She goes, I'm not putting that. You know, however, what we want to do is capture ourselves and we want that authenticity, right? I know that authentic was a word, I guess, let's just say in 2019, that was totally overused. Well, let's bring it back a little bit because as we go into 2021, we are going to have this amazing opportunity to rebuild, right? Because everything's going to be shuffling and everything's going to be done a little differently. We now have the opportunity to become experts at something, right? So for example, some of the trainings that I did this year were like at home with, I'm going to be able to teach at home with diversity. There's a new fair housing. There's a couple other new programs going on. I want to be experts on them. So because everything's broken, we get to build what we want. And one of the things I heard, and this is the last thing I'm going to say on this, because I think this one's a little long, is on your to-do list, like this should be this is Jim Collins, 3 things that you must do today, and then 3 things that you must take off your schedule today. So 3 do's, 3 don't do's. Let's stop doing those time sucks. Let's stop doing those things that just are our way of escaping. And when I got in the office this morning, and I was early, can you believe it? And I said, I am not going to do that first half hour. I putter around and I sort things out. I put this there, I put this back there. And I'm like, no, this is your power hour. Like, do not go in there and clean the place. Right? So I come in, what do? I stop puttering around. And that's why I think I even started this late, was because I was so early. I was puttering and puttering. I put my shelves over there. I reorganized. I had the blue background. I put the red background up. I got the lighting set up a little wider to try that because that's what Kayla did. I did a lot of different things. Our do's. I was doing my don't do's. And so I want that mindfulness. If we truly are going to get our time and money freedom, then it has to start with us. All right. So thank you so much. Follow Kayla on Instagram. Book an appointment with her. She's got some time for my local friends. She has some time available in the next few weeks, and she is in the area on her vacation. She's a guidance counselor up in New Hampshire, in her real world, right? So let's give that girl some love, and you will love the photos. That I promise you. Alrighty, my friends, have an amazing day. I'm just going to actually check the messages before I close out. Good morning, Maggie. How are you? Contact info for photographer, please. Okay, so her in the great tips, been way too critical. Yes. So Maggie asked for her contact information. So in the description up there, she's babelphotos.org. So BABEL photos.org. Or the best way to go is to see some of the work that she's done is go to her Insta. And on that, it's right in the title of this, which is Babel_photos. Okay, so I'm going to actually put it right in Maggie's thing also. So I'm going to say Instagram, Babel_photos, and website is Babel Photos. And I will send you, Maggie, her telephone number and her email address. So follow up that way, because she is, as I say, she makes everybody look like they should look. Does that make sense? So she makes, oh, look it, when I put it in there, she came up. So is that her? Yes. So it's a wedding photo that she did. So she makes you look like you should look. All right. That's what I'm going to say. And that is what I think is just the best. So up level, message of the day, get your bad old photo taken and make it be something that when you look at, you're like, yeah, that's me. That's me. All right. Have a great day.